what we'll try to do here actually, is we are going to go over the very basics of video editing. I'm going to give you like the bird's eye view of everything, what you have to think about, what you have to plan for, how a editor thinks and manages his workload, and then also to the technicals, how to like cut up a video, what to expect. I'm sure you already know things like frame rate and resolution, but we're still going to go over those in kind of a very high level, again, aerial view. And then we'll also take a look too at creating videos, types of videos, and all that kind of good stuff. Let me just take a peek, see. Yeah, like I say, Anku, you are totally welcome to, I see you pinged me here. You're totally welcome to come into voice chat at some point in time if you want. Just send me a message, be like, hey, I got questions or whatever. But I'm going to try and record this as like a... again, we'll do the high-level overview. We'll do the bird's eye view of everything. And then we will go into depth in the individual parts that you think you want the most, or that you think you'll get the most value from. So let's also bring up Paint. Maybe it's a little cold. I don't know if I want to be able to do Paint. Maybe we'll do Notepad. That's fine. Okay. So video editing for the most part is kind of split up into 3 major parts. I'm gonna say there's probably about 5, like probably more than that, but I like to think of it at least kind of 3 major chunks. And keep in mind too, a lot of this I'm just gonna fire off the top of my head, so it might not be super accurate, and these aren't like rules to follow across everything, but they're just kind of like guidelines on how to build video and whatnot. So yeah, really in video there's going to be 3 major parts. There is going to be grabbing info, so the info section, oh my god, maybe I should just type this out. There is going to be the video itself, video, and there's going to be a final product. And these are 3 different stages that if you miss one of them, then you're probably going to have a bad time when creating any type of video, any type of media content, anywhere at all. Why? Because video in general is like a big stack of a whole bunch of different things, even though it does feel like sometimes you just record the camera and you go and you open it up in CapCut or you open it up in any other editing program. If you're not actually thinking about the entire structure of the video, you can have technical problems, you can have editing problems, you can end up spending like way longer working on a project than you actually mean to, and blah 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 blah. So there's a whole bunch of like things that we got to watch out for. So normally we'll cut these down to kind of like stages of building video. So how do we get the info? So the question, like how, I should definitely type this out instead. How do we get the info? How do we get the video? And how do we produce the final product? So there'll be like this little path along the way. So this is usually like note taking or understanding. I'm actually not going to type all this stuff out. I'm just going to yap it. I don't really want to draw it with my hands. But we will go over kind of the overview, at least the structure of this. So anyways, yeah, when you're working on the information section, the video section, or the final section, the question is, how are you going to do that? Information is pretty easy. Like, how are we going to get the video content itself? Or do we have to watch all the video? Do we have a customer or client that we already know what the video or how the video is set up? Are we recording live like we're doing right now? And I would imagine, actually I can point this out, for this video that I'm cutting for YouTube, it is the information I know is going to be contained within like a start and a stop period in the video. So I don't really need to do that much editing or information gathering per se. I already know where my information is, and I already know how it's going to be presented, which is going to be like a tutorial or whatever, right? You could imagine if you're doing a TikTok, for example, you have to put together what information is contained within the TikTok, what you're reacting to, what type of information is, or what type of content is contained within it, how you're going to be framing and how you're going to be recording it, all that kind of stuff. But you can imagine this kind of abstracts out to literally every single type of video content out there. If you don't have all of the information about your video, you're probably going to have a hard time creating it in the first place. Okay, the video itself, this is actually the files. So It's going to be how, but we're also going to put in files. I'm going to go over this in just a moment because this are in details in just a moment. But at the high level view is how are you receiving the files? What type of quality of files are you receiving? Whether or not it's a specific video format that can work in your editor. It's a file format that your PC can support. Whether or not you can download it, upload it in time, blah, 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 blah. This is all just kind of like, again, just technicalities. How are we getting the video from one place to another? For example, too, this is going to be a long VOD, so it's going to be quite a few extra hours or quite a bit extra time in comparison to the actual video that gets chunked up. So how am I going to receive it? I got to download the file. How am I going to be putting it through my video editing and stuff like that? We raise these questions, right? These are all just like mostly just questions that we'll talk about in a second. And then there's, of course, the final product. This is how are we going to place the final product, or where are we going to place the final product online, or how are we going to be presenting it to people? So this could be a movie theater, this could be a cell phone, TikTok, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. The like final product, we have to know how that final product is going to be put together, right? This could be a podcast. How you are going to basically build the podcast is very different than a way that you're going to build like a tutorial video. And there might be some parallels in between, but we'll put type in right here. Type. Oh, Jesus. See, I'm a lefty, but I have a right-handed mouse, so this is what we're getting. Okay. So information, we are going to also talk about sorting. All right, how do we sort the information for different types of videos that we're doing? This is not just like having basic notes, but keeping track of where video files are, where information is, where screenshots are, whose names, who's, all that kind of stuff. How are we placing these in for video content in particular? Of course, how are we storing the video? Are we putting metadata on it? Are we doing all this kind of stuff? And then final, of course, like how is this video going to actually be presented to people functionally? Meaning like are we going to be color grading it? Are we going to be doing some CG editing to it? Are we going to do some crazy stuff? The lefty has a right-handed mouse. There's not really right-handed mice, dude. There are some, but all the best ones, sorry, there's not really left-handed mice. There are some, but I grew up on a right-handed mouse, and so I've never, like, I've tried to play games with the mouse on my left hand. It doesn't work at all, so it's a little rough. Yeah, sort video files. I'm gonna put folders in here just so folder. Okay, and then final the sorting. Well, we can manage this as like type. How would we put this in? Aesthetics? No. I'll just put package. Never mind. That's an easier way of putting it. Package. So what does the entire package contain when you're releasing the video? Okay. Package. Okay, so information 2, we're going to go back. We just kind of keep going on the list. We kind of know how we're doing all of this stuff. We know how we're sorting them or what they're being sorted into. The question 2 is going to come up. It's going to be the aesthetics. What's it going to look like? I'm not going to write aesthetics. I'm going to write look. What's it going to look like, right? For videos, what's going to be the specs? So is it 4K? Is it black and white? Is it whatever? Is it? And then the final product is going to be like your just final video. Okay. What am I doing? Final video. All right. So this is like your overview of basically everything you need to know to like start video editing. And it does seem kind of strange, but people may ask like, what editing program should I use? What file types should I use? How do I sort them? We can go into that in just a minute. But again, we're just gonna burn through this really, really quickly because this is like boring shit. It's like stuff that you got to sit down and really talk about in detail without like going into individual parts. It's really hard to make it interesting. So there's a few small things that I'll put together to show you how I manage this entire pipeline, how I think about every single part of the video, and what it turns out as like in its entirety, depending on which client I'm working for, or what environment I'm creating, like what genre I guess I'm working in. We've got a few creators here. You can see there's some example creators in this list. It might be a bit small for people on Twitch, but I think YouTube I'm running at 1440 with 10k kill. That should be fine. You guys should be able to see that, no problem. Okay, so super easy stuff. Information. How are we going to sort information? Well, this is the way I do it, and other people do it other ways, and most time new video editors don't do this stuff, but you absolutely should. Is kind of sort all your projects into categories of some type. It's very tempting. Often people will just download videos, and I do it occasionally too. I'll just download stuff and I'll load it straight in from my downloads folder. If you take a look, even my downloads folder's full of a whole bunch of media that I probably shouldn't be storing here. But if I am working on a project or working for a client or working on even like my own stuff, you can see we have Sulack in here, and then I have 3 folders. Now you don't have to do 3 folders. This is something that I do in particular working with other people, is I have an inbox, an outbox, and a workspace. Inbox is my inbox, meaning if you drop something in my inbox, it's something that I receive. Workspace is where I contain all the files, so all the information that we talked about in this first step will be in this workspace for our project. And the outbox is where I render final videos so we can provide them to the client, or we can upload them to the YouTube channel, or we can do all whatever we want from there. There's like a million ways of doing this. So just keep in mind, like you can build this however you want. This is the way I like it. Inbox, workspace, outbox. Super simple. And you can do them per creator or per project, even in a way, set it up. If we go to the workspace, you'll actually see I have things set up in a pretty specific way, and mostly so that it manages video content, but you don't have to do them this way. It's just a good example of like how to keep track of the type of work that you're doing. So for example, I don't know, let's go to an erudite project. I think that's probably an easier one. We go to workspace and I go to something like, let's go to humanizing. So you'll see there's like source and clips. We've got the source files here, which are quite a bit, it's hard to see here most part, but there's like a transcript file. This is just so that if I want to go through the transcript and not load in the video, I can figure out what they're saying. Your workspace folders should basically look like this, but they don't have to be like exactly how they are here. I like to keep source files in the source, obviously, but if I was to create, I don't know, if I was to put some images or something into this project, like while I'm gathering all the information, I create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder images. And then when I'm downloading images, I download them into this like humanizing Sneeko folder that we have here, because then it always stays in one spot. You just always know that all the stuff that you worked on for this project are in the one area, which is really, really nice. Yeah, I think that's a good overview. There's definitely more that's involved here, but it's not really super important. This is just like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing a YouTube channel, a podcast, even a single one-off series, it's really, really good to have something like this so you can kind of watch and manage everything that you're doing, which is nice, whatever. Okay, so if we go into sources, I want to talk a little bit about video files in particular. This is difficult because video files are quite a bit different. If you take a look at the very end, you'll see things like MP4, MOV. The best way to think about this is file types. We'll do it in the bottom corner here. Yeah, we'll do something like this. Okay, these like .mp4, these are just wrappers. Is that 4 backwards? No, it's not backwards. I don't know why I'm thinking that backwards. MP4, these are basically just containers. You can imagine them like a box. Okay, and the box can basically contain anything. Let's just do the open lid. The box can contain anything, and it's basically how this box is stored. You can imagine it's plastic or cardboard or whatever. This is a really good analogy for MP4 and MOV, and that's where like the dot, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but you can see how like other files I have are .json, .srt, anything can go inside a file per se. It just can't, it's just stored in different ways and managed in different ways, and we're beyond the days of having to worry too much about the individual one. What you do have to worry about a little bit, of course, is the video codec. If I bring up one of my videos here and I was to find the file itself. I don't know if you can see on the top right hand corner, probably a little small for you right there, but it says video codec H.264 high L3.1. The frame rate is 30 frames a second. Resolution is 1280 by 720. These things matter quite a bit when you're working in different environments. It doesn't matter the video editor at all. I'm gonna emphasize this. It literally doesn't matter the video editor. I would recommend using DaVinci Resolve or something like that because it's quick, it's free, it's easy to bring up. But none of this matters. What matters the most is making sure that the files that you have are compatible with the editor that you're using. Right? That's why this is such a key spot in our paint. Because if what is contained within the box is not something that your video editor can open, you're going to struggle for quite a while. What will happen is if you can't bring this into an editor, you need to do something that's called re-encoding. There's an excellent tool called Handbrake. I can bring it up here just to show you. Take a note. So if you have a problem, if you record something with your phone and you can't open it on whatever editing program, or someone sends you something, a program like Handbrake, you'll have to take a look and see. Yeah, there we go. You'll have to play around with it a little bit, but there's like presets here. You can change the container that the video's in. You can change the frame rate and encoding and stuff like that, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's something just to keep an eye out for. I will mention too, I say the word encoding. What does encoding mean? Well, encoding or decoding or codecs, you'll hear codecs a lot. Codecs are encoders and decoders. What does that mean? Oh my God. Encoding is basically you take a frame, you take a picture, and you turn it into data. And then decoding is you take that data and you turn it into a frame. That's all it is. Encoder, decoder, they're basically the same thing. If I was to bring up, most computers have this, and even too, you can see this within your if you have an iPad or some shit like that, you can find the performance metrics on this. But if I was to go to my GPU, you can see down below, yeah, here it is, video encode and video decode. You can see we're encoding video right now. Why are we encoding video? Well, because I'm recording the stream at the moment. It's taking the frames from my stream, it's encoding them into a file, and it's sending you a file over to your computer. If you brought up the task manager, if you press Control-Shift-Escape, there's a very good chance that your video decode will at least be running in some kind of way, because of course it's just decoding, it's downloading the files, decoding them, making them visual on your screen, all that kind of good stuff. So that's the quick overview too of like just video, the files and the types. And the final part is the product itself. What type of video are we actually creating? Now, this is going to be dependent, or the way that we build video depends, of course, on the types of video that we have and the editor that we're working in. You can see most of the stuff that I do is in the file side, but if we go to, here we go. Here's my, oh, I shouldn't have done it this way. DaVinci doesn't like this. Hold on. We're going to try, yeah, we'll do it this way, and I'm going to go workspace, dual screen, turn off dual screen. There we go. Okay, if you take a look on the side, DaVinci Resolve has this wonderful file manager tool. Most video editors have this kind of file manager tool, and you can see that I actually separate them based upon the types of video that I want to create. Why? Because I don't want to have my TikTok shorts all messed up with my longer podcasts. I want to have everything really clear and easy to see. So if I, for example, want to see what I streamed or what a stream was, I can go into one of these stream projects, and I have like the stream project pretty much already preset. If I'm doing something a little more particular, you can see a bunch of the games that I have on the side. Let's say we want to do Mega Bonk. You click on Mega Bonk, and here is a Mega Bonk video. I don't have the video actually connected at the moment, but here's the Mega Bonk video that's like basically ready to go, and I can go into any one of these games and basically find the assets. Yeah, none of this is loaded. It's all unloaded right now, but I can find the assets for the project that I work on. So if I am working on a vertical short, at least it's all organized here. You could do this on the file side. People could definitely do it within the workspaces that we have here. Some editors don't have this fun little video file management system. They just don't. So you just have to manage it and figure out how you're setting this kind of stuff up. But then also too, what type of video you're creating. So we'll just start fresh in a way. Let's say I do have my stream set up here. I'm gonna create a new stream day. We're gonna call it, what is today? Today is 1/10/26. Okay, and do I have a stream to put in? We can just do the humanizing Sneeko one. We already have a setup here. It's a good video to go with. Okay, so I'll drag this in. Ta-da! Yay, we're in. And we have a project started already. If you're following along with DaVinci Resolve, which I do kind of recommend if you have some video to play with, unless DaVinci Resolve totally freezes, because it's trying to find video that doesn't exist. Okay. So yeah, anyways, here's a basic DaVinci Resolve project, just making sure I've got everything here. And I'll give you some ideas on how to build this. Again, it doesn't really matter too much like what editor you're using, but of course if you do want to follow along with me, then you're totally free to do that in some kind of way. So what I do here, let's just take a look. I'm getting messed up. Quick, easy DaVinci Resolve notes. If you want to have the same stacked timeline with tabs that we have here, click on this little sucker, display stacked timelines right there. You'll see it actually, it's got a little tab thing, and then that way you can come in and you can add new video and add new tabs and go between them. And that will also pop up a little thing on the right hand side that allows you to do multi-windows or multiple timelines side by side, which is a common feature that people have, but I don't use it too much because it's not really too valuable. Within DaVinci Resolve, there's other tools that do the kind of side-by-side timeline stuff. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we will quickly create a overview episode just to give an idea about what it takes to create the final package. Okay. We've kind of gone over the sorting. Yeah, we've done folders basically. What am I doing? We know type. We've done package, folders, info. We don't know how the info is going to look. We don't necessarily know the videos. Well, actually, we got the video specs. What am I saying? We'll just pretend that we already know the video spec. We've already loaded it in. It's going to be this video right here, whatever format and frame rate. It works. It works on our editor. It's not a big problem. We want to be able to take a look at what this final video product is. Okay. Now, just a creative talk, just a creative chat. For longer videos, especially when the content creator themselves knows that everything inside the video is what they want included, they don't want much taken out, then we actually have a very simple model in mind that we can create. The model is going to be intro, outro, and transition. As simple as that. Intro, outro, transitions. I don't have any of Erudite's transitions and stuff on here right now, because this is my videos that I've edited or whatever. But it's super simple. These are not really complex parts. We gotta find the section. She does this talk with a few of these guys. We'll find the section where she first starts talking with them. Okay, we're gonna knock off all this early stuff. We're going to find out where she stops talking with them. Super simple. And somewhere around here. Let's not think too much. People will generally watch the whole video and break down everything. Not worth it. Especially if you're doing a podcast or something. Nobody cares. Of course, if you're getting paid, you want to watch the whole thing anyways. But to get the project set up, to get everything kind of in line, we want to go through this. And actually, wait, let me take a look too. We don't necessarily, we don't know how the content is going to look, and we do kind of know the spec already. We've cut that down. Yeah, just making sure I got everything covered here. Okay, so what we want to do, and most of the time, this is a big rule, especially when it comes to YouTube creation and online creation, less so with everybody else, is to find the sentence that introduces the video the most. A lot of people, a lot of creators will actually go later on down the line and they'll pull out best quotes from the later sections and pull them forward. Or what I like to do, I much prefer this, is actually like find the best sentence at the start that feels like the start, that runs like the start. Actually, we can pull a video up. Let's go over to YouTube and we go over to, oh, I am number 1 on my other channel. Let's say we go to Not So Erudite. Okay, and this is the top one that comes up right away.
The topic today is America First is not Christian.
What do you mean by Christian? I don't know, like, what specific...
Right, instantly. The topic first is, right, and she says exactly what the topic is. There's a little bit of a what's the word for it? Oh my God. There's a little bit of a conflict, I guess. She obviously, the second... I'm gonna speak of this, like, totally neutrally. First Lady says a strong statement saying the topic of today is topic of whatever is. Second Lady goes, oh, well, what do you mean giving a weird face, right? And then we continue
denomination you subscribe to.
I would say anybody that agrees to the Apostles' Creed.
And First Lady comes back dead on. This is the exact topic. This is what we're doing. So if I was an average viewer jumping into this video, I know instantly what is going to be talked about. Now, there's a million different ways you can do this. Like, we're just managing the video and working around it. And for the most part, if we run through and we find a sentence like,
okay,
let's
cool.
listen.
Oh yeah, I see now in the light dog. Your dog seems a little bit, yeah. I don't know why, but sometimes she seems more darker. And
Yeah.
now
This is all boring, right? This is totally useless, wasted stuff. So if I'm on my video editor tool, whatever it is, I'm going to scroll through. We have a 2x. We have the ability to kind of go through and pull a 2x. Let's undo that sentence. We can 2x this so we can figure out exactly what sentences are the best. There is also another tool within DaVinci Resolve if you pay your $300 or whatever it is to get the transcript, and then you can read the transcript, and that's much easier. But it's very clear she's talking about the dog and stuff here.
yeah. Is your audience mostly progressive, or there are some other political people as well? Like, what was right now? Like,
It's pretty diverse.
how was the?
There's a lot of
pretty diverse?
conservatives. There's a lot of liberals.
It's nice. It's a okay sentence to kind of introduce what's going on, but
Every now and then I'll get recognized. Like, I was in New York.
You
New
on
York.
Timpool?
Yeah, I've been on Timpool a few times.
I might start with that. I might, just because this conversation is a little bit dull or whatever, I might start with
Nice.
Yeah. I think a lot of them that
Where is
left
it?
Destiny when he became more like radical in New York.
You
New
on
York.
Timpool?
Yeah.
You
New
on
York.
Timpool?
New York.
You
New
on
York.
Timpool?
right. That might be a sentence to start
New
with.
York.
You
New
on
York.
Timpool?
Yeah,
You're on
I've been on
Timpool?
Timpool a few times.
Yeah, I've been on
What do you think about him as a person?
Right, and then we start off on a topic that's like pretty strong. We know what's going on, how we're gonna construct it in a way. Okay. Question, Anku. So if anybody's watching this later on, this is who I'm doing this for the most part. I want to give them the nice little quick overview of everything, and then and go into specifics. Is there anything in particular you would like me to go over? Is there stuff like, okay, how do you set up recording, or how do you actually organize the files and manage them and mark them? How do you, like, what's the most important part about creating the videos? How do you do the little animations, all that kind of stuff? Do you want to know more about DaVinci Resolve? Like, that's a big thing I can go with, is exactly like what DaVinci Resolve is, and how DaVinci Resolve works, if that's something you're going to be looking at. Or I could just drag you in if you'd like. I can't stream when I'm on, actually, no, I can send this to you. I can't stream when I'm on the Super Ego, but I can send you an invite to my Discord. Now we sit and wait. So also, another thing to keep in mind, if there's a little bit of downtime, like there was a little bit of downtime there in terms of the video that we're going to release, I'm going to keep that in mind. I might delete that. I might go back and go, I might go back and actually like cut that out in the video. You're mostly interested in editing itself, so all the boring shit. Editing itself, like that's what I'm asking is like, do you want me to, in particular, to go straight into like DaVinci Resolve? Is that something you would like, or do you want me to talk about like how I turn a video or how I turn video content into a video? Like what the I can go over that as like in chunks, I guess. I do have some video that we could turn into a video if we would like. Oh my god, it's Onk Who. Onk Who, Onk Who. Tick tock, 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 tick. You're interested in both. Okay. I am going, let's try something here. Okay, let's do something pretty simple. We will take this conversation, which I like this conversation that Kyle had quite a while ago, and we'll make it into something that's like a usable video, so you can see the entire section, right? Now, we'll listen to it for a little bit, for just a few minutes, and we'll figure out what they're talking about at the start of the conversation. We already know they had a little back and forth talking about the dog and whatnot. And then I'll walk through the technicals. Oh, I can drag Anku in here. What's up, nerd?
What's going on?
Not much, man, not much.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I have like some experience video editing and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like there has to be like, I understand like most of the basics and shit like that, except for like data transfer and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's the things I'm wondering about are essentially like, I know you have to have like certain shortcuts for things.
Oh, okay. Like, are you talking about like, like shortcuts within the application? Like, what is the workflow shortcut? Or are you talking about like mental shortcuts? Because there's a lot of like mental shortcuts that we can take, or both. I imagine both, but what's probably more important to you here?
What's an example of a mental shortcut?
So when it comes to creating like shorts, like, or TikTok style content, there's mental shortcuts of like, when you're looking for the most important part. So if Kyle is doing a multi-hour stream, right? You want to be able to cut things into like events, insults, moments of clarity, descriptions. There's a few, I had them written down like a year ago. It's been a while since I've gone over it, but meaning like if I'm looking for a good moment, right? If I hear an insult, that's a mental shortcut. I don't need to like overthink the like who is talking to who, or you know, or what's the intricacies of the insult. I know that I'm gonna flag that as a potentially good like short or just short content, and then later on I can go back and look at it and see whether or not it's useful, because a lot of the times you'll spend hours just listening to people talk, and like the when you're working and listening, your brain is on like double duty. So you have to be like, your brain kind of flattens out all the emotional beats. So that's where you have to have like these mental shortcuts where it's like, oh, that's an insult. That's something we're going to clip and have as a moment. Or that's a, that's a description. Someone stopping going, oh, this thing is this. You go, yes, I know that is going to be used for this type of content. That's what I mean. Also for intros and stuff too. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you probably emphasize like with the insults and like maybe if there's like a statement that pretty much sums up the feelings or the topic or whatever. Are those things that are emphasized in Kyla's shorts? I've never really seen her shorts, to be honest, but
they are occasionally. Really, it's I don't always highlight them per se. These are more of just like flags that potentially show that there might be something valuable in that space to go back and it's worth watching, right? So you could imagine having an hour of video footage, right? You don't want to watch the whole hour and imagine how it's going to be as a video, and then watch the whole hour again and imagine how it's going to be as clips, and then watch the whole hour again and imagine how it's going to be as shorts, right? That's like miserable. So what you want to do is you want to watch it with like with a very vague overview, and then mark those moments. And then if those moments are really important, like actually I can pull up, I have the stream up. Sorry, I don't want to be
Hi guys.
double doing the stream and the talk, but you can see it anyways. So I think the latency is not too bad. If you listen to like, well, like the first one that we have right here, it's
not so erudite. My God, you look worse. Let her finish. Oh my God.
You know, he starts off not so erudite. My God, you look worse in person. Like to me, that's like a 10 out of 10 flag that moment is probably going to contain something that people are interested in, right? It might not always mean that. It's just like maybe we throw that video out or something like that. But you know, like there's another one here. They tried to dunk me.
Are you a real cowboy? Are you a real cowboy?
It's pretty obvious. An insult is like, oh, are you a real cowboy, right? To me, that's like a flag. Like, oh shit. Now it's worth me going back and watching that again. Now it's worth me going back and taking a look and seeing whether or not that's like an important part. So they don't always make the cut, but they do. They definitely like signal that something is going to be really important in that space.
Okay. I guess like I definitely would be interested in that, but I think the emphasis for me would be just like if you have shortcuts for. I've never used DaVinci Resolve. I think all the editing that I've ever done is like, fuck, what is it called? Fuck, I can't even remember what it's called, to be honest. But
Sony Vegas, Windows Movie Maker, Adobe Premiere.
Premiere. It was Premiere.
Okay. So yeah, so I'd be interested in just like seeing like how much like I don't know if you use AI shortcuts like the transcript thing you mentioned before. Yep.
Or like there's just like little tricks that like save times. Like I don't know if this is probably definitely possible, but like like ready fades or like transitions. So like you just need to like clip something together and then add the transition, and it's going to be pretty much the same every time or something like that.
Yeah. So you're lucky, and most editors are lucky in this way that the tools that you need to be a good editor are pretty much the same for the past like 100 years of video, which seems weird, but it's super simple. It's split clip, okay, and it's ripple delete. Those are basically the entire project. It doesn't matter what editor you're in. You're going to be doing some form of the split clip. So if you bring up, I'm not going to. I won't walk you through it detail by detail, but you can go to the stream and watch it back if you want to see the individual parts. But like the key, so if you bring up keyboard customization and you search in split clip, you'll see there's actually like a timeline split clip section, and then the other one called ripple delete. I have both of these bound to my mouse, so that if you watch when I go, as long as the stream up, you watch while I'm going through the footage. I click on a spot. I go, okay, I like this spot. I click split clip, and you can see that it pops the clip. It's now 2 different sections, right?
Yeah.
I can split the clip somewhere else, split the clip here, and I go, I don't want that section, ripple delete, and everything just merges back onto itself, right? So the vast majority of editing is literally just scrolling through, going, oh, wait. So here's a moment when Erudite gets up.
Don't Hassan Piker her now.
Don't Hassan Piker? Jesus Christ. So she gets up to deal with the dog, right? And so I don't want this part in the video. I split the first section. I go forward. I split the next section, and then I delete the center. Ripple delete. And 90% of the video is going to be that, right? It's just ripple delete. Like go through, find the section I don't like, split, split, ripple, delete. Now there's going to be small variations of that where you want to ripple delete stuff, but you don't want to ripple delete the whole thing. You'll figure that out. Like per situation, it's very like if I have a whole, just example this, if I have a whole bunch of these on top of each other, so the clips are all messed with each other like this, and I come in and I split the clip, it splits the clip that I'm selecting and then splits all the clips, so you can see that there's now a big split. But like this is just like user interface specific stuff, and it's all just like alternative uses of the split clip and ripple delete for the most part, right? You could imagine if you were an editor 100 years ago, yeah, I think we have 100 years of video, and you've got your tape, right? And you're going through the recording of the tape. All you're doing is you're taking your scissors, you're cutting the section, you're cutting another section, and you're rippling them together, so you're physically connecting them together, right? That is like the entire editor's pipeline. When it comes to transitions, now this is editing philosophy more than anything else. It is the editor's job to keep out of the way of the content. It is really, really easy where if I come in and I give you, I'll make an example of this to show. Let's do full screen. So we have a moment like this. It's back and forth.
Fair play. We can wrongly,
and you can see there's a hard jump between the two sections because I just ripple delete the section out, and there's not really a big transition between the two or whatever. If I go and I grab, this is DaVinci Resolve like features. All other editors have the same kind of thing, but I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to video transitions. Let's say I find something like, I don't know, the block glitch. Okay, so you get the, oops. So you get a glitchy block transition.
To enact fair play. We can wrongly diagnose people with all sorts of things. Okay, we do that.
Okay, that works well, but the amateur editor goes way too hard with these. Normally, we want these types of transitions to be less than a second. If I pull them way down, you'll see if I
to enact fair play. We can wrongly.
You can see it does a quick like it's a vibe, it's a feel, it's a philosophy thing. I want this block glitch transition to be as quick and fast and out of the way as possible. So even what I just showed you is probably too long. I bring it down a little bit, and it does a little.
Play. We can
quick few second clip. In DaVinci Resolve, you can copy and paste transitions. So let's say you really like this transition. You really like the block glitch, or we can replace it. If we delete this, we put in like a circle spin or something, and I usually bring that way down so it's quick.
We can run
like even that's too much. Hopefully you're not too far behind on the recording, but you'll see like the amount of motion this transition puts in the video is like almost disrupting to the video, right? We want to stay out of the way as editors. We don't really want to be noticed. So this is like too much. So I'd grab something like maybe a crash zoom, and then we'll put the crash zoom again really, really short. So it's just
we can wrongly diagnose.
That's a little better. Crash zoom is still a very visually noisy transition, but it still gives us a nice little transition. And then we can grab this. I press Control C. I can right click, copy. And then let's say I make a new section. I can cut, and knock this spot out. We'll make a whole bunch of random cuts on this, knock this spot out. Then later I can come in and I can Control V and paste those same transitions over and over again.
Given a developing brain, you can set
the
vetting. Can't have metal access that like other people.
There's another thing that we use, what's called a stinger. Have you heard of that phrase before at all?
No.
Okay, stingers are transitions, but they are transitions that are more like animations or curated transitions in a way. I'm loading up the other project here, so it goes in. You'll often see this with streamers like that have big budgets. You know, when they switch from scene to scene, so they go from their full screen camera to their gaming camera, and there's a little animation or something like that. That little whoof, that little wipe through or something like that. That is a stinger. So if I go to, this one doesn't actually have many stingers. Give me one that has stingers. This one has stingers. So for example, when there's a little bit of a gap in the moment, you can build a transition like this one in particular. I'll just play it. You've probably seen it quite a few times on Airday's channel. That
I would say absolutely not.
Thank you
They
for
should
that
go.
open
Can we
discussion.
go 10 more minutes? Can we do that, guys? We agree. It sounds like there should be more help.
Ooh, it's a little slow because
Can we do that?
it's got to render live and my subscribe button has disappeared somewhere. Ooh, I need to fix that or else that's going on the next video. This is what a stinger is. All it does is say, hey, there's one point and now we're going to a new point later on in time or with a new intent, and then we put the stinger between instead of like a smooth transition. Now representing wise, what this does visually to the viewer is it says, hey, we are representing a passing of time, or we are representing a changing of a view. So usually it could be the streamer. I don't have them set up here, but if I go to like my full screen camera, I'm like, oh, hey guys, we're going to talk about the video game today. Yeah, I love the video game. We're a video game. Now let's play the video game. And then you stinger transition over to the desktop with the stuff there, right? I would normally not do a small fading transition between two moments that are really far apart. So and there's different types of fading transitions. I'll just point this out. You probably see them. Like if I was to show the stinger, of course, does this.
Can we do that, guys? We agree. It sounds like there should be more.
Yeah, and then if I was to delete the stinger and I throw on something like, I don't know, disarray sucks ass. Cross dissolve.
That, guys? We agree. It sounds like that there should be more.
It makes it feel like there's a continuity between the two events, and it's fine too. It's called an invisible transition. Like you create a transition between two events that are far apart from each other to make them seem like they're one part. You can do that, but if you watch...
Sure, but by
and I know great people working on that.
Isn't she...
Oh wait, that was the wrong spot. I don't know where this one is. Is it here?
Do that, guys?
Yeah. Can we do that, guys? And then so you can see if I play it, it feels much more connected than the stinger. Just
minutes. Can we do that, guys? We agree. It sounds like that there should be more help.
And it's all just vibes. It's a vibe feeling thing. But it makes a big difference for the viewer because they know, oh, okay, this thing that I'm watching is now a new thing, or, oh, okay, the thing that I'm watching is a continuation of the thing before it. And that's really dependent upon the editor to figure out like what works really well or what doesn't. There's also more abrupt transitions like the why is all of my media offline? You can see, for example, I sent you the ad too. There's really abrupt. Oh shit. My stream is not liking all the encoding. We're good. Okay, we're caught up. I won't fuck with this one too much because it's like multiple layers of things. Okay, I gotta close the advertisement. It's fucking with my stream. Just to show here, actually, maybe I can quickly show this. If I pull up the encoder just to keep things consistent, and I go to my GPU. Oh, it's being a little slow right now. There should be like spikes in the GPU right now because I am using a video editor, okay, which has layers of video, while streaming a video, which has layers of video, you know, while loading other video, or while compiling a video on the renderer. So like my machine right now is struggling quite a bit. And I'm just rolling this back to point out that performance and the technicality of what you're doing matters quite a bit. Because if you are putting in stingers, like stingers in particular that are very detailed and have a lot of information in them, how you construct them matters quite a bit. Like I was like, point this out. It's a little bit off to the side of what we were talking about, but only because it's here now. I'm showing it that if you have a stinger that is like really complicated, like the one that I have, which is all the bubbles and stuff that comes up, it's going to take quite a bit of performance out of your machine, and it's going to add to the amount of time that you have to edit. So when I said before, like intros, transitions, and outros, right? You don't want to spend hours editing something that's like an hour long, right? You want to make sure that your transitions and your intros and outros are just like compact enough and easy enough that you can then place them at the front, middle, and end of your production, and not have to wait like hours for rendering or wait for your machine to catch up or all that kind of stuff. Again, a little bit off the side we're talking about, but a good example of that here. So
okay. So I only have like 12 more minutes, but
No, you're good. You're good.
this is my proposal to you. Okay.
Okay.
One of Kyla's next streams or something like that. Let's start off small. I'll like try to watch the video and I'll try to think from an editor's fucking mindset and try
Okay.
to make like shorts and stuff for you to grade.
Sure.
How
sure.
about
Yeah, we can totally do it. Well, I keep hearing you talk about your podcast and stuff that you want to do, right? So, you know,
that? We're not gonna do that.
we got to build you up to it, right?
Not at all. That's just a bad idea.
Well, this is more like mental vibes. I think people put too much effort into like their videos, which I know seems weird. But they're like, or not effort. They put like so much mental. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. So much mental into their work, right? Like sometimes it's mostly like the most important thing is the production pipeline. Because if you have, I've had 10 hours of footage, right? I don't want to have to watch that 10 hours of footage over 3 or 4 times to get my content out of it, you know, right? Like that's like, I'd hate myself if I had to do that. So yeah, being able to like watch it, keeping that editor's mindset, chunk down the sections, have these like mental shortcuts on how you're going to build certain things. Like, yeah, it all just makes the editing process so much easier and so much faster. And you can,
Oh, maybe what we could do too is like whenever Kyla streams, like I'll just maybe watch the stream and I'll probably like just like DM you like, oh, that's a flag for me or something like that.
yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
I try to do it with my own stuff. It's a little easier when you're doing it live. So like if I'm like right now I'm streaming and I deliberately know I have in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have my intro. I know when I'm starting. I got an idea about kind of when I'm ending. I got an idea about when I'm waiting for you to get in, that I'm going to cut that section out. And then maybe too, there's some points in between there that I'm like, oh, talking about the shortcuts and like those things to me highlight immediately like, oh, I probably don't have to watch the whole video again to know and go back to those moments and pull those moments out as like the parts that I want, you know, for the editing project. So yeah.
Okay. So I need to download DaVinci Resolve.
Give it
That's
a try.
what I needed.
If you have a PC that supports it, yes. If your PC sucks ass, then you might have a difficult time with it. But yeah, DaVinci, I highly recommend DaVinci Resolve if you can run it.
Okay. And then for like people who like make shorts and stuff like that, do they need like the source video? Like does Kyla need to send them that, or is that something that you can just get from like downloading it or something?
Yeah, I download most of the things through what's called 4K video downloader. There's this wonderful tool. If it loads, you can just paste YouTube videos and streams into it and it just downloads them.
Okay.
Excellent tool. It is paid for, but there's a free version that you can download, I think 5 or 6 videos a day or something without an issue. And that's like, I used that for years without having to worry about it. There are within OBS. So if you're recording your own stuff, you can actually record locally. And that's what I did for a while. We still kind of do it with Kyla's work where I record the whole video locally because it's just higher quality. And then I download that file instead of the YouTube video. But then I also have another bot that literally just watches streams for me and downloads them. So there's like, this is more for businesses than it is for, I guess, you in particular. But like clients don't like having to do work. And so if I can tell them like, hey, I already have your, like they'll do a stream and they'll be like, hey, can you do this for me? And I'm like, I already have the video. I already have it downloaded, you know, like it's,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be, here, send me the file or send me anything. And what that does, this is just more professional style stuff. What it does is it crosses off like most of the chart that I have here. Like it crosses off what I need for the video files because I already know that. Crosses off the folders. I know that I don't need to worry about the spec because I'm the one downloading it and I'm the one grabbing the file. I don't need to worry about sorting. Package I already have in mind, and so I've already crossed off most of my task list within just the downloading process.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I'm gonna watch all of Kyla's fucking shorts or something. But how much, like, other than like cuts and like the ripple delete shit, are there like a lot of text or anything involved with the shorts, or is it just like moments captured and like
Text.
edited?
So adding text, this is the hard part as an editor, because there's a balance between, like, technically you could make any video an interesting TikTok style short, right, with a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, if I had an infinite budget, I could make any video interesting. There's like a balance between effort to virality. So if, for example, actually I can bring up a quick example of this right away. If I load up, oh wait, no, I'm on here. I should just go to YouTube. I can bring up an exact example of this. I learned a lot about this during a program that Kyla ran for a few months. It's called the Accelerator Program. 1 second, let me try and find it. What am I doing? Not so erudite. Okay, so this one.
Are you a real cowboy?
In the spirit, yeah, I am.
So she asked the question right away, are you a real cowboy? Have you seen this one before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I'm just gonna play it. I'll let you see it, and I'll explain to you why this works as a short.
Are you a real cowboy?
Okay.
In the spirit, yeah, I am. I'm emblematic of what cowboys believe. Free spirit, travel all over the country, do what you want to do, and live your life adventurously.
Have you roped before?
I have not roped. I do own roper boots, though.
Gotcha. So not a real cowboy, unfortunately.
Oh, that's the requirement in order to be a cowboy?
If you don't know, so if I rope a cow, I'm gonna go like this around my horn really quickly. What's that movement called?
So let me ask you a question. Do you pass judgment on countries that you haven't visited?
I definitely pass judgment on people who wear cowboy hats.
That's the same thing I'm talking about. If you're talking about Palestine or in Israel, you've never been there, and you really don't know what you're talking about. And
Well, I have been there.
Where?
And I've roped cattle and I've worked in strings my whole life.
Israel?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll pause. Love it. If you haven't been to Israel, Palestine, can't say anything about it. She's like, well, I have been there. He's like, where? Okay. Anyways, so just explaining this short. It's not the most viral one, but it's a really good example of what's going on, right? So at the very start, she asks,
real cowboy?
"Is this guy a real cowboy?" Right? Kind of a boring conversation starter, right? Like if I was flipping TikToks, I'd kind of just keep going through, right? But I added this text: "Is they tried to dunk me and failed horribly." Okay. What this does as a viewer is it makes me stop and realize that there is a story going on that is bigger than the initial pitch.
Okay.
This is what your goal is as somebody who's making shorts for the most part. If you have a story and the story is not very clear within the first few seconds, then it's not a good story. I actually have some other ones that are, if I even compare quite a few of them, that
Hi guys, my name's
shorts. 1 second here, and I go to popular. Right, like the top one that she has is her responding to Asmongold. But listen to watch.
They
this.
want to maintain the privileges in society that they have, while also taking over the advantages that men had.
They feel like
That's it.
we don't understand.
Okay, so just gonna pause that right away. What he says proposes a story, so it doesn't need more context. What they have, 1 second,
They want to maintain the privileges.
yeah, they want to maintain the privileges in society, you know, basically without the responsibilities, is kind of what he's saying, right? And you get that right away. I could have put a text somewhere saying, Asmongold is crazy, response incoming. That might help a little bit for the most part, but the pitch is so easy to see that you don't need more context. Whereas something like this, which is the
masculine,
you are being lied to. There are multiple types of stoicism.
Has been tarred with this brush of everything about it is toxic.
I agree, but the issue is that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to look at things like Victorian stoicism and recognize how that has harmed young men because
Stoicism?
Right. So I just want to point this out really quickly. It's hard to figure out what's going on immediately within the short without this kind of extra text here. So as a shorts creator or as even an editor, like let's say I can even go to, it's not just with shorts, it's even with like intros. If I go to, where's the Tim Pool debate? Where is it? There it is right there.
Hi guys, my name is Not So Erudite. I'm the dirty liberal on the panel today, so you guys will love me.
I like that.
Right. We start off with something that's like, that's not the intro. This is not what they introed in the actual entire presentation. The video that I got was like an hour before and an hour after of stuff, right? But this was like the first intro of Erudite saying who she is, and then immediately we go into...
Let's ask this question right off the bat. It's a heavy question. Has feminism destroyed the West?
Right? So you see I'm putting text in because I'm trying to tell a story really early on. Like I'm really trying to push the story to the viewer about what she's doing and what she's talking about. Where other videos, I could bring, I'm not going to bring the bad videos, but there are bad videos that I just didn't do the same thing. I didn't have that same kind of hook that's in there. But hook is the real word. We're looking for a hook. The text, the other stuff on screen only matters is if it's a hook. You know? Like the whatever thinking man dude here. This is part of the hook. It's meant to be like, ooh, there's something to watch and there's something to get into. So when you're adding stuff, when you're adding text and when you're adding extra information and when you're adding the kind of whatever, you really want to focus on like what story am I telling really, really early on. And it even I'm yapping a bit, sorry, but one last thing on the
Hi
even
guys,
demonstrating
my name's
this,
Not So Erudite.
like
I'm the dirty liberal on the panel today. So.
A good demonstration of this is the titles that I put. Most comments, not most, well, like 25% of comments will respond to my title and not respond to the video itself, which is kind of weird, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. When does Kyla stream next? When can I put this into fucking action?
I don't know. She's been really busy lately, and not feeling so. Mix of having some sickness or something, but also not she's doing a bunch of other work. So I don't know the exact schedule. What I would do, and here's what I've done to test it too. I'll even point this out. I have like, I literally have like a Destiny Shorts channel, or Destiny like Clips channel or something like that. If you have like a favorite creator or you have somebody that you watch consistently, it's good practice even just to try and figure out like we had Bridges clips, the Bridges podcast clips, right? Like just try and keep that eye out for the clips or for the way that you would build the clips that kind of present things in a way that people are interested in. So I know it doesn't answer your question about Kyla streaming next, obviously, but it's just like a mindset mentality to keep an eye on and think about.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'll keep you updated. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for the content that I can cut now and put on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's go. All right, have a good one.